Welcome, friends, to a brand new episode of Beauty Unlocked the podcast, the first episode of 2025. I'm Carissa, and today we're going to journey back to the 1880s to explore the intriguing phenomenon of the professional beauty. This era witnessed a unique societal trend where public display became fashionable, and the obsession with showcasing photographs of ladies of quality in the windows of Fleet Street reached fever pitch. Are you ready?
Welcome to a brand new episode of Beauty Unlocked the podcast. If you're new to Beauty Unlocked, I'm Carissa, host of this circus. Welcome, friends. If you've been a long-time listener, you know all about the shenanigans and utter fuckery that is Beauty Unlocked.
Are you ready?
So, how did this craze begin? London-based artist Frank Miles and the captivating Lillie Langtry played crucial roles in sparking this sensation. Lillie Langtry, born on the Isle of Jersey, arrived in London in the mid-1870s with her alcoholic husband, Edward Langtry. Now, despite their financial struggles, Lillie quickly entered high society. Initially, her beauty garnered mild interest, but it was her habit of wearing the same black dress to social events that truly stirred the waters. When someone finally remarked on her repeated attire, she showed up at her next engagement in a similar white dress. This bold move caused a sensation. Suddenly, artists clamored to paint her, hostesses competed to have her on their guest lists, and even the most intimidating dowagers would stand on benches or chairs just to catch a glimpse of her in Hyde Park or at grand balls. Her fame skyrocketed, leading to her greatest wish being fulfilled, a presentation to Queen Victoria herself, rumored to have been orchestrated by the Queen. Lillie was coached by none other than the Prince of Wales, later King Edward VII, who later became her lover. She was also coached by the witty Oscar Wilde and the talented artist James McNeill Whistler. She made a significant impact on aristocratic society. Frank Miles, one of Lillie's earliest acquaintances, capitalized on the public's growing appetite for images of society beauties. These women, later known as professional beauties or PBs, took London and the world by storm. Well, that's because the Brits colonized most of the world, but I digress. Becoming a professional beauty didn't require wealth, noble birth, or education. Just societal approval of one's looks was enough to ensure a future of recognition and success. The recognition as a PB was a reward in itself. The reproductions adored every store window and middle-class home, while the originals graced the mansions of wealthy art patrons. Prince Leopold, Queen Victoria's youngest son, was so enamored by a pen and ink sketch of Lillie Langtry that he hung it in his bedchamber, until Queen Victoria herself removed it. I can imagine how that conversation went. But, Mummy! Women from higher social stations inundated these PBs with invitations to dinners and receptions, making no party complete or successful without their presence. Invitations often came with a guarantee: do come, the PBs will be there, ensuring a turnout of high society. Artists competed fiercely to invite PBs to their studios, hoping to paint or sketch them. These women no longer needed to purchase clothing or accessories. Merely mentioning their couturier or milliner's names ensured those designers instant success. In London, the professional beauty was queen. No ball was a success without her, and at dinner she eclipsed rank, wealth, and fame. If she rode in the Row, a little cavalcade accompanied her until someone very distinguished came to ride by her side. During country house parties, she was always the favored guest, regardless of who else was visiting. Her word was law, dictating the entertainment of the hour. If she found acrostics dull, they were abandoned. If she loved hunting, the best mounts and most careful grooms were at her disposal, ensuring her exquisite beauty was never in danger. A fierce war of opinion raged around these professional beauties. Artists praised Mrs. Langtry's classical Greek profile, golden hair, and a wonderful column-like throat with its three plis de Venus, making her an ideal subject for their brushes and chisels. Poems were written in celebration of the professional beauty, one of which was saved by Lady Randolph Churchill, herself a professional beauty. So I'm not going to read the poem as there's a racial slur derogatory term used in the poem. Now, I understand that the poem was written in the 19th century, where this term was commonly used to describe the Roma or Romani people, but I'm not going to use it. So, if you would like to read the poem, I've added the article's link in the show notes, and you can go and read it for yourselves. Other renowned PBs included Lady Lonsdale, Lady Brooke, the Duchess of Leinster, and her sister Lady Helen Vincent, Lady Londonderry, Lady Dalhousie, Lady Ormond, Lady Mary Mill, Lady Gerard, Mrs. Luke Wheeler, and Mrs. Cornwallis West. Many of these women briefly reigned as the Prince of Wales's mistresses. Unlike their London counterparts, the professional beauties of Paris were not ranked or catalogued. They didn't have their portraits published in illustrated papers, nor their photographs sold at stationers. However, about 20 women always represented grace, beauty, and Parisian elegance. Virginie Amélie Gautreau, known as the subject of John Singer Sargent's Portrait of Madame X, broke the mold. An American expatriate married to a wealthy French banker, her portrait caused a scandal when revealed in the Paris Salon of 1884. The painting depicted a sexually aggressive woman in a figure-hugging black gown with a fallen right strap, hinting at further exposure. Amidst the outrage and career ruination, Sargent painted over the strap to secure it on Madame Gautreau's shoulder and concealed the painting for over 30 years. Her reputation was destroyed, and she spent her remaining years trying to recapture her fame while avoiding mirrors. In America, the professional beauty had her counterpart in the Gibson Girl of the 1890s and 1900s, created by Charles Dana Gibson. The Gibson Girl set the first national standard for feminine beauty. She was taller, more spirited and independent, yet entirely feminine. She appeared in stiff shirtwaists with soft hair piled into a chignon, topped by a big plumed hat. Her flowing skirt hinted at a bustle, and she exuded poise and patrician elegance. Gibson's wife, Irene Langhorne, Evelyn Nesbit, and Danish-American stage actress Camille Clifford personified this ideal. The Gibson Girl, depicted as an equal and sometimes teasing companion to men, was provocative and independent, embodying the cool exuberance of the turn-of-the-century American lady. The life of a professional beauty could be wonderful, exhilarating, and fun, but only if she remained beautiful and charming, avoided scandal, and could financially maintain her social life. This was nearly impossible due to their attachments to the frivolous Marlborough House set and the passage of time. Lillie Langtry fell from grace when she bore a child out of wedlock, only recapturing some of her allure by becoming a moderately talented actress. Even aristocratic women struggled to escape the whims of fate. Lady Randolph Churchill faced financial troubles all her life, and Daisy Warwick, with her family fortune depleted by the 1910s, attempted to blackmail the Prince of Wales, the future Edward VII, by threatening to publish his letters. The professional beauty was just a step above a courtesan, protected from scandal and sexual immorality by rank and marriage. In an era where women were often considered property and societal roles were rigidly defined, the PBs enjoyed the best of both worlds: the fame and fascination of an actress and the venerated social status of an aristocrat. Have you ever heard of these professional beauties? Is there an equivalent to the Gibson Girls or professional beauties? Is today's professional beauty an Instagram model? Let me know your thoughts. So in order to prepare for this episode, I actually listened to this really interesting audiobook. It was called The King in Love, Edward the Seventh's Mistresses. And that's how I got the idea for this episode. I was like, well, that's really interesting. I've heard of Lillie Langtry, but I didn't hear about a lot of the other professional beauties. And I was like, oh, let's do a deep dive on professional beauties and what they're all about. So if you're interested, I'll link the name of the book into the show notes, as well as the articles and also other YouTube videos that you can check out if you're interested in finding out more about the personal lives of these professional beauties, or about the king, Edward the Seventh's Mistresses. He was quite the naughty Prince of Wales, I should say. So thanks for tuning into this episode of Beauty Unlocked. I hope you enjoyed our journey into the fascinating world of the professional beauty. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. I'll add those links to the show notes. Until then, my friends, make sure to stay hydrated and stay safe. You'll hear from me again next week. Bye.
Make it clap, clap, clap. Make it clap, clap, clap. Make it clap, clap, clap. Make it clap, clap. Make it clap, clap.